Hello, hello, hello. Oh, AAA, how are you doing today? Come in closer. We have so much to learn and talk about. So this little bit of theme music for the AI world. My name is Joanna Peña-Bickley, and many of you know me as a design engineer. I was one of Alexa's many moms. And for the last 15 years, I've been designing the AI products that you love, and for some small little companies that you've never heard of, probably, right? IBM, Uber, Amazon, just to name a few. And for those of you who have Alexa devices in your homes, I want to personally thank you. The 100 million of you who have trusted me and my products in your homes, cars, on your wrists, and now, as you can see, in my ears. As the host of the podcast Designed By, I've had the privilege of bringing you humans who are not leaving life to chance and designing a future that we should not fear, we should love. And now I'm actually the CEO of a company named Vibes AI, where we are pioneering a new frontier of native AI computers. Our vision, enhancing human potential and unlocking a world of endless resilience and possibilities. Lastly, I know that so many of you fear that AI is going to take your jobs. And that's why I co-founded the Design Corps, which is a nonprofit working on the resilience of our workforce. So without further ado, I want to kind of take us in to the future. Some people call me a future. I'm not. I build futures. And so when we think about this, we need to think about how this is going to impact your business. Now, for some of you, you'll know that this isn't my first time on this stage. The last time we were together, it was about 2021. And it was a really scary and ambiguous time. And the reality is that the truth that I shared with you there about the future is holding true today. That in our near and far futures, the future doesn't fit into the same containers or even screens of our past. And it's really important to frame up where we are. Where we are is we are actually amidst a great societal transformation. It's one of the greatest in human history, and that includes an industrial revolution. The outlines of the Industrial Revolution include the convergence of general purpose technologies for mobility, energy, and communications. We are moving from the age of progress to the age of resilience. Let me let the slides catch up here for a sec. So when we think about moving from the age of progress to the age of resilience, right, that's the larger framing. And we need to remember that as we're moving through that, there are kind of new laws, scientific laws that are helping us progress at such a fast clip. One of those laws actually happens to be the law of thermodynamics. And it is those laws that are actually making the world feel like it is progressing faster than we can keep up with. Because in the law of thermodynamics, for every action, there is a reaction. So if we start to think about this great transformation, moving from if we think about this, it is about moving a multi-generational shift on what we actually value. Moving from efficiency to adaptivity, and from productivity to regenerativity. And this is about going from valuing growth to actually valuing flourishing human beings, and thinking about owning things and moving to the axis of things. This also applies to things like seller and buyer markets, which we're actually seeing the really neat outlines of user-provider networks. And this is also shaking up the way that we operate. Thinking about, if we think about in the age of progress, we focused on the linear, and now we are moving to agile cybernetic processes. And this is also something that we learned in COVID, right? Moving from vertical to lateral economies. We knew vertical actually didn't help us that much. And neither did centralized value chains. What you're seeing is a production of many distributed value chains. And what I will tell you is that the value of corporate conglomerates is waning, right? Because what is being valued is agile, high-tech, small and medium cooperatives that will be blockchain in a fluid commons. The thing that you hear a lot about in the news is all the intellectual property and copyrights, right, when we talk about AI. And the reality is that the laws are being established as we speak. I actually have the opportunity of actually consulting both at the federal, state, and local levels in many states. And what effectively is happening is that we are redefining intellectual property into the world of open source. And that takes us to, for many years in the age of progress, we valued globalization. And what you are seeing right now is the value of glocalization. And that also means that for all of the zero-sum gains that we gained, right, what we really want is network effects and moving from consumerism to eco-stewardship. And as we are all going to live a lot longer, given the biotech that is actually being produced today, that is about moving from the value of GDP to quality of life indicators, and from negative externalities to circularity, from the geopolitics of now to the biopolitics of tomorrow. And the reality is that if we start to think about this, that has such a grander scale, particularly those of us who have really enjoyed living here in the United States, the most innovative democracy on earth. But one of the things I will tell you is that we are moving from a democracy that we love and defend today to tomorrow's bureaucracy or global peopleocracy. And this transformation is being accelerated by an economic supercycle. An economic supercycle that essentially is an extended period of booming demand that is elevating the prices of goods, services, and talent at unprecedented rates and speeds. This supercycle is operating on our rapid demand and adoption of biotech, the Internet of Things, that's those connected ecosystems, right, and artificial intelligence. These are each general purpose technologies that are converging, which is what makes this industrial revolution entirely different than the ones that came before. So, to participate fully in this transformation from the age of progress to the age of resilience, I wanted to give a little bit of AI literacy in the room. You hear a lot of buzzwords. I'm going to dispel the myth. Because I'm an engineer, the first thing I want you to know is how these things work. Because in order for you to adapt into this new economy, which, let's be very clear, it's here, right? This new economy where 1.1 billion jobs have already transformed and thousands of new agile companies are getting funded from VCs, federal and state grants. That's all already happening. So AI, right, the importance of understanding what is AI and how do you use it in your business is critical. And it's not just the tools. I am not here to sell you a tool. ChatGPT is wonderful, but it isn't going to take care of your operations. However, the large language models that power it certainly may play a role. So let's just define it. AI is a set of foundational technologies like natural language processing and understanding, pattern recognition, machine and deep learning platforms, data, that's data mining, right? Visual recognition systems, decision management systems, virtual agents like Alexa, Siri, and Via that I have in my ear, as well as hardware. This is an important part. You've heard about the semiconductor boom, right? So this is all about AI-optimized hardware. And the next part of this is how that collides with robotic process automation, whether it's in our factories, right, or even in our advertising. Now, what's really super seminal, because I want to give generative AI the context of today, the seminal innovations of variational autoencoders, which are called VAEs, generative adversarial networks called GANs, which by the way is how we get deep fakes, and transformers have all combined to actually bring us generative artificial intelligence. And it's this AI that is capable of actually generating text, images, audio, videos, and it's all utilizing huge data models. A large language model is a data model. It's a regenerative data model that often responds to text or even voice prompts. And right now, generative AI is a game-changing seedling in a vast AI forest. It's not just a smart tool. Don't be fooled, okay? This is a generative, if you think about that, a general purpose technology, and it only comes around once in a lifetime. But let's talk about how it is fundamentally changing how we create and distribute information, like stories, art, music, and even our ads. So for perspective, for those of us in the field of AI, we categorize generative artificial intelligence as narrow AI. And so I wanted to give you a roadmap for those of us in the industry of AI of where we're headed. These AIs, if you think about generative AI, these AIs are specialized experts and way faster at specific tasks than any human can be. And we've moved from winning chess and Jeopardy with AI to talking to smart speakers to assist you to today, right? Generative AI doing far more complex tasks, generating and creating advertising that can reflect who's walking by and serve up valuable information all in real time. And this is where things get really interesting. We in the field are not close to being done. I'm only 50, and I'm living to 120, so we're just getting started. We're building towards general AI, a level of machines, right, that can understand and learn anything that a human can. Scary or exciting? I bet you it's a little bit of both. And the ultimate goal, you ask? It's super intelligent AI. This is next level smart, smarter than the smartest humans in every field. We're a little bit away from that. I would say we're at least, if we get it right, somewhere between 25 and 30 years from that. And it's not here yet, right? But it's on the horizon. So what does this mean to all of you? It means smarter cities, individualized ads, and healthier humans. Maybe, just maybe, even solving some of our biggest challenges. And boy, doesn't it feel like we've got some big challenges ahead? Now, I think it's important for the audience today, right? All of you advertisers and folks that are actually producing the technology that make out-of-home possible, is that this is not a fad. So while it feels like AI has had a lot of ups and downs, it's a 50-year technology, right? This has been on a trajectory since before the 1950s. And it does feel like AI is having a little bit of a hot girl summer. It's had lots of menopauses as well for you ladies out there. But AI has reached maturity, and that is why when we think about it, narrow AI has actually reached maturity, and we are beginning to see the next outlines of deep reasoning required for general AI. So for those of you standing between fear and love, I want you to remember just this. We need to remember that never in human history have we ever seen a path to progress where we have left tech, or in this case, AI, behind. When we learn to adapt, we can apply AI to things like mobility. It will reshape advertising right here in our streets and on our beaches. AI is embedding resilience into smart cities right now. Let's talk about vehicle displays. One of the things that's really important, you think, autonomous vehicles, what do I care about this? Let's actually talk. I'm pretty sure that when I quit driving that car, number one, I'm going to be wanting to look at displays all over the world, but more importantly, I'm not going to own that car. It's going to be a part of a user network. And so those displays are going to be driving, moving billboards. These smart cars can show ads, important information, and even interactive content right on the exteriors. And it gets kind of cooler. The displays can actually change based on where they are and who's around. Walking, like, think about it this way. You could be walking through a food desert, or at least a healthy food desert, right? But the vehicle display might help you discover a healthy alternative in that food desert. Now I want you to check this out. Drones. Drones aren't just for cool camera shots anymore. They're becoming more mobile, and they're becoming mobile out-of-home platforms. Flying high screens with banners, right, and holography, and catching the eyes and ears of exactly the crowds that you want to see and where they gather. So it's actually perfect for events, right? These drones don't just adapt their messages to concerts and festivals and games. They're actually making sure that the right message hits the right crowd. But how do we have all of these ads hit the right mark? Enter data integration and individualization. AI can analyze data from these autonomous vehicles and drones, understanding travel patterns and habits. This all can happen today. The question is, who in this room is actually going to build the platform or has the platform to make it real? It's all about connecting smarter, not harder. And as our world becomes more connected, our ads do too, making the urban jungles that we live in a little bit more intelligent and a heck of a lot healthier if we can design it that way. So let's talk about very quickly how AI and renewable energy are powering the world of advertising. People always think about how do these two things of an industrial revolution actually come together? But I think they're going to make it greener and more resilient in the age of resilience. I want you to look around and you might start noticing power stations like these, right? They're not just showcasing ads, they're powered by solar panels. And this means the reduction of carbon footprints, right? Keeping things lit without straining the planet. And it's not just about the energy they use, it's also how they're made. Today's billboards are actually turning greener with recyclable materials and non-toxic paints. It's all about sustainability, people, from creation to operation. And this is where AI makes that easier and possible. And those that are living in windy areas, maybe a windy city, imagine wind-powered displays. Small turbines collect every breeze, powering and lighting those digital screens. It's a brilliant way to harness AI and natural energy. And why does this matter? Because by integrating AI with renewable energy and outdoor ads, it's not just catching your eye, it's paving the way for a more sustainable future. We're seeing smarter, self-sustaining setups that mesh perfectly with our intelligent, eco-conscious world. And that's what AI, but wait, my favorite slide. AI and biotech, what does this mean to the out-of-home industry? Well, let me just actually tell you, enter environmental biosensing. I want you to imagine out-of-home media that monitors the air quality and UV levels, and maybe even picking up disease in populations. Now think about little smaller things like these things that I'm wearing in my ears. Biowearable sensors that collect data right from that environment or even our bodies. Just like this pair of Vibes AI earbuds, this tech can trigger out-of-home media to display ads tailored to our immediate needs, suggesting something like, I don't know how many of you actually suffer from allergies, but it could be able to tell me, hey, here's allergy meds, right, on a high pollen day. And it gets more personal with biometric data. Sensors can now read our mood and stress levels. So if you're feeling a little bit sluggish or even anxious while you're walking back and forth here on the stage, you might pass a screen offering a quick vibrational therapy or a relaxing spa weekend. This is what is capable, right? With AI and biotech and outdoor ads are becoming more interactive, but they're also becoming more intelligent, making sure that the message you see is exactly what you need right when you need it, making life on Earth a little bit easier and a little bit healthier. It's tech for resilience. tech for humans. So while those are just a few of the futures that we can choose from today, I am a firm believer in the great wisdom of Bucky Fuller, who reminds us that the best way, and I have found this, by the way, throughout my career of designing products, is that I don't have to create or predict the future. I have to get to the business of designing it. And so with that, as a leader in AI, I hope that this is evidence that we can design a future, right? Where an intelligently resilient media ecosystems can actually be possible. So the fact of the matter is that we've got 2 other speakers here today, and I am pretty sure you're going to see evidence that this is not some far-off future, that it's happening right now. And each one of you in this audience has a decision to make, whether you're going to lean in or you're going to wait it out. I would tell you I'd lean in, roll up your sleeves, put your agile teams to work, because this is what is in front of us. Now, the evidence that the next 2 speakers are going to share with you is going to outline this much further. Now I'm going to turn it over to Avery Akinini from VaynerX, and later on you're going to hear from Ian Dalmore from Lamar Advertising. They're going to offer further evidence that when we make intentional choices and act as a catalyst in crafting our near and far futures, that we can design intelligently resilient media ecosystems that work for everyone, everywhere, every single day. Thank you. Come on out, Avery.